Imagine you wake up at 3 in the morning to a quiet knock at the door. You get up, look through the peephole, no one. You open it and let death into your home. These aren't just words. This is the rule Lily learned too late. Lily was a 32-year-old brunette with wavy shoulder-length hair and large brown eyes where sparks of joy once shone, but now anxiety hid. She worked as an interior designer at a firm in downtown Seattle, creating coziness for other families. Soft sofas, warm lighting, flowers on the windowsills. She herself dreamed of her own perfect home. 3 years ago, she married Brandon, a tall soccer coach with a smile that melted the heart and a voice that made her knees tremble. They dreamed of a child, trips to Oregon, simple happiness. And so the dream began to come true in part when they finally bought a new apartment on the 12th floor of an old brick building on the edge of Capitol Hill. High ceilings with stucco reminded of past luxury. Large windows let in morning sun in golden rays that danced on the walls as if alive, and the parquet creaked underfoot as if singing old songs of previous residents, adding charm and mystery. They bought it for ridiculous money. Realtors said they were lucky, and Lily believed it, not noticing the shadows in the corners or the slight chill seeping from the floor. As if the old building's breath, Brandon kissed her temple and whispered that now they had a real home where they would raise a family and fill the space with love. The first weeks passed perfectly, as if in a fairy tale where every day brought new joy and small miracles. Morning sun flooded the kitchen with warm light reflecting in the cups. Brandon brewed coffee in an old sesvi, its aroma filling the air and awakening appetite. Lily hung ivory-colored curtains and placed pots with ficuses that greened on the windowsills as if guardians of coziness. In the evenings, they sat on the balcony, watching the city lights below, twinkling like stars in a night ocean, and planned the future, holding hands, feeling each other's warmth and the pulse of life. The air was filled with the scent of fresh paint and hope, and the night wind gently swayed the maple branches outside the window, creating a melody of peace. But one autumn evening, when rain knocked on the roof with thousands of tiny fingers, creating a rhythm of growing anxiety, silence reigned in the apartment, thick and heavy, as if someone had turned off the sound of the whole world, leaving only heartbeat and breath. The wall clock struck midnight with a quiet chime echoing in the emptiness as if a harbinger. And then the first knock sounded, not loud, cautious, as if someone touched the door with fingertips, as if checking if they would open, if someone inside would wake and respond. Lily froze in bed, her heart pounding so hard she heard it in her ears. Like a drum in the silence, beating alarm, Brandon slept beside her, breathing evenly, his hand heavy on her waist, unaware of the danger lurking behind the door. She quietly got up, barefoot in her nightgown, approached the door, feeling the floor's cold penetrating her body. She pressed against the peephole's cold metal, holding her breath and waiting. Darkness filled the corridor, empty and lit only by a dim bulb flickering as if slowly dying, casting shadows on the walls that danced strangely. Nothing more, just emptiness that seemed alive and watching. The next night, everything repeated with growing tension. Knock first, then a short, sharp doorbell, as if someone pressed the button and immediately retreated into the shadow, leaving an echo that didn't fade. Lily was no longer asleep, sitting in the kitchen, clutching a cup of cold tea, fingers white from strain, staring into the darkness outside the window where rain drew patterns. She approached the door again, heart gripped by growing fear. Again, no one, just emptiness and cold seeping through the cracks as if the breath of an invisible guest. She began to notice little things she had ignored in daily bustle. Cold in the hallway, though radiators heated fully, emitting a quiet hum meant to soothe. Smell of old dust, though they had just done general cleaning, with detergents leaving lemon and freshness aroma, and the constant feeling as if someone was staring at her back from a dark room corner, forcing her to look around and check locks. And on the third night, the worst thing imaginable in the most terrifying dream happened. Tension reached its peak and exploded. Lily woke from an inner ice that shackled her body, as if an icy hand squeezed her heart and wouldn't let go. Spreading cold through her veins, she slowly turned her head in the bedroom darkness, lit only by moonlight through swaying curtains, and saw a figure standing at the foot of the bed as if materialized from the night gloom. A woman in a gray dress hanging like a sack on a thin body, long wet hair as if after rain, face pale as chalk, eyes empty black holes without bottom or soul. On her neck a thick rope with a knot hanging to the floor, swaying slowly as if from an invisible wind blowing from the beyond. The ghost stood by the bed, looking straight at Lily and whispering quietly, hoarsely, words that echoed in her head, penetrating thoughts and leaving a trace. Do not open, do not open, do not open. Repeating like a spell stuck in consciousness, Lily screamed, her voice tearing from her throat as if strangled by the rope, feeling cold spreading on her skin. Brandon woke abruptly, turned on the nightstand light. No one, just cold, filling the room and the smell of damp earth. Old rope soaking the air as if a grave had opened. In the morning, Lily couldn't stand the accumulated tension from the nights, gathered herself and drove for help through unrelenting rain. She knew where to go, to Madame Clara, a 60-year-old woman living in a small wooden cabin on the edge of the Olympic forest. Wooden cabin with creaking shutters, inside smelled of dried herbs, stove smoke, candle wax burning quietly, illuminating corners, old photos in frames on walls, window overlooking dense pines. Madame Clara sat at a rough wooden table, hair neatly in a bun with gray strands, in a white linen shirt. Candles flickered, dried herbs in bunches, old books lay open. Atmosphere mysterious, as if time had stopped. She poured the guest herbal tea with mint and chamomile that calmed nerves and relaxed the body as if in an embrace. She saw unrest in Lily's home even before words, as if sensing darkness in the air. Asked for apartment keys, took them, twirled in fingers as if reading the metal's memory, eyes narrowed from concentration and vision. Said they bought the apartment cheaply, too cheaply, where price is low. There's always a catch hiding in the shadow, waiting for the moment. Asked why open the door at night when ringing, but no one visible in the peephole, looking into emptiness. Lily replied, there was someone, just didn't see in the corridor darkness. Madame Clara explained the rules she knew from childhood, passed down generations. If knocking or ringing at night and no one in the peephole, do not open. Otherwise, beings from the beyond will enter the world of the living, changing everything forever and bringing trouble. Lily herself let in dark forces, made a big mistake opening the path to the invisible. Pulled from pocket an old pin with black head, metal cold as ice from touch penetrating fingers. Said to stick it in the doorframe upon returning home, while not too late. It will save the home from darkness, bad people who might exploit weakness. Lily, worried about changes in Brandon, asked, do you see my husband starting to drink? Madame Clara replied firmly, no, he is a soccer coach, strong and healthy. His body withstands any load. But suddenly her eyes clouded as if peering into past or future. However, I see a drunkard, the owner of this apartment, times mixed in my vision, and I can't say exactly if about past residents or what awaits ahead. Lily shook her head, unwilling to believe. You are wrong, this doesn't concern us, not our life. That same evening, Lily told Brandon about the visit, returning home where sun set behind windows, painting sky red. He sat on the sofa in a sports jacket with a beer bottle after training, laughed, said the woman, obviously mistaken. How to believe her? Move is stress, hallucinated. Nonsense. Throw out of head along with the pin to not think nonsense? Lily nodded, but hid the pin in the drawer under linen, where it lay cold, waiting its time as if an artifact. The next morning, sun shone brightly through windows, flooding the room with gold reflecting in mirrors. But Lily felt no warmth, stood by the hallway mirror, looking at herself pale with dark circles under eyes as if hadn't slept for weeks, only fighting shadows pursuing in dreams. Brandon kissed her cheek, smiled, said everything will be fine, went to training where players waited on the field with ball and whistle, leaving her in apartment silence. They exited the entrance of the old building with peeling paint on walls, falling in pieces as if skin, and ran into Emma, the neighbor walking with a basket full of dinner products. Middle-aged woman with short light hair and a bright scarf, warm pastry in hands, blue eyes, wide smile. But something in her seemed too artificial, like a mask hiding real face and intentions. She greeted, said glad for young neighbors since building full of pensioners, complaining about everything from noise to weather, invited in evening for pie to get acquainted closer and share news about neighborhood and people. In the evening, Emma came with pie, smell of apples, cinnamon filled the apartment, mixing with tea aroma, smile that seemed warm but hid cold in eyes. But Brandon was late. Hours passed. Tension grew in air, as if before a slowly approaching storm. Suddenly, doorbell rang. Lily, sighing with relief, thinking finally Brandon, hurried to open. On threshold stood Natalie, her 19-year-old niece, tall and slender, with long blonde hair falling in waves and eyes burning with dreams of the theater stage. In hands a suitcase stuffed with things, clothes for courses, books on acting. I came to enter Theater Institute for preparatory courses, explained Natalie, smiling. Mom didn't warn, wanted surprise. Let me stay in guest room. Bed all ready with fresh linen, I see. Lily, surprised but glad for relative, nodded and helped unpack things. An hour later, Brandon appeared with alcohol smell-soaking clothes, glassy eyes, slurred speech, bag with bottles in hands, apologized, set at work with guys after training, celebrating match victory with glasses and laughter. Lily saw him like this for first time, heart clenched from anxiety as if premonition of trouble approaching step by step. Next day's situation repeated with growing force. Brandon came drunk, laughed loudly, fell on sofa, fell asleep in shoes without undressing, leaving floor traces, street dirt. Lily didn't recognize husband. His eyes became empty, hands cold like alien touches not carrying warmth. Soon it became evening norm, apartment filled with fume smell, empty bottles lying everywhere on table, under sofa as if proof of change. One night Lily didn't sleep, sat in kitchen, stared into window darkness, waited for Brandon with anxiety growing as if weed in soul. Knock at door again, approached, pressed a peephole, saw same ghost closer, rope on neck swaying, woman extended hand. Lily felt cold on skin as if ice touched palm, penetrating soul, leaving trace. In morning drove to Madame Clara, said didn't listen to advice. Now beyond doors open, death threat hangs over her like sword gleaming in darkness. Madame Clara advised to find out who lived in apartment before, stick pin, bring it in 3 days to lift curse and cleanse space. Lily stuck pin in door frame. Metal entered wood with quiet creak as if wood resisted, but gave in. When inquiring first Emma, she said young couple lived shortly then left unknown, leaving mystery and empty walls. Then to HOA office, Chief Rachel with sharp gaze, red lipstick chased away without giving housebook, slamming door with loud sound. But the building super, old Mr. Pete with gray beard, hands smelling of fuel oil, told everything standing by garbage bins where trash accumulated. Young couple, good people, husband started drinking heavily. Beat wife, she couldn't stand, hanged in despair. Apartment passed through Rachel's hands who, through proxies, finds alcoholics, get them drunk, take housing on papers cleanly, legally as if all honest, but with shadow of deceit. Lily returned home with burden of knowledge pressing shoulders. Emma invited over for a drink to relax after hard day. Lily refused, couldn't stand alcohol smell at home, where everything's soaked in it, as if poison. Emma said niece set eyes on Brandon. Yesterday on balcony read her poems, whispering under moon shining cold. Lily didn't believe, but an evening entered, saw Brandon with Natalie in embrace. Kiss, he whispered, darling. Without you, white world not dear. Words tearing heart to pieces. Emma stood in their apartment doorway, smile sharp as knife blade, and said calmly, "See, I told you, don't grieve in vain. Here, take this decoction from drunkenness. My mom cured Dad with it. He never touched glass again. Don't doubt, just give him to drink, and everything will pass like bad dream." Lily, in despair, brewed decoction that night and gave Brandon. He really stopped drinking next day, but changed radically, became angry, cold, as if his soul covered in ice. In 2 days, packed things in suitcase and went to Emma through corridor, without looking back, leaving emptiness and unbearable pain in Lily's heart. Lily drove to Madame Clara in tears. Rain beat on car glass as if wanting to break it, and reach heart aching from betrayal, loss and guilt gnawing inside, as if worm in apple road wound through forest, where trees stood wet and dark, branches whipped roof as if warning of danger. Headlights snatched only asphalt pieces from darkness. She told Madame Clara she did everything, found Rachel in office with papers and cigarette smell, learned about apartment predecessors with their tragedy, but nothing helped. Curse continues stronger than before, as if gained strength from her mistakes and now holds tight by throat. Madame Clara replied calmly but with burden 30 in voice, "You mistaken in main thing, child. Not from Rachel with her fraud protect husband, but from Emma, neighbor with sweet smile and suspicious herbs. She slipped love potion under guise of anti-drinking remedy. You with own hands bewitched Brandon to her, changing fate and opening doors to evil now spreading like fire in dry forest." Madame Clara pulled old heavy lock with key, rusty from time and rains, metal cold and rough to touch, as if holding memory of many troubles, said to lock trouble on bridge where river flows fast and takes everything. Lock the lock, throw key right into water, lock left, not mix sides, for this last chance to save what left of happiness, family, normal life. Otherwise, darkness swallow forever. Lily took lock in palms, felt weight as if holding fate in hands, and drove into night where wind howled between bridge supports. To the bridge, river black as pitch, reflecting moon, hiding behind clouds as if afraid to look. She stood in the middle of bridge where boards creaked under feet. Closed lock, sound echoed in silence. Threw key right into water that swallowed it instantly. Lock left as if closing doors forever and releasing past into flow, where it dissolved. Wind blew stronger as if approving ritual, and in Lily's heart appeared crumb of hope, small but bright as star in darkness. Returning home through night where headlights snatched raindrops on glass, she met the building super, old Mr. Pete, standing by entrance with shovel in hands, beard wet from rain. Said he ordered Rachel tied today for apartment fraud. Truth came out as if sun after storm, dispersing clouds and illuminating lies. Lily nodded, heart beat faster as if part of curse already retreated, and ran home. Legs carried themselves through puddles and darkness. Opened door with key trembling in hands. Brandon sat on sofa. pale, sober, eyes clear as before all troubles, said remembers nothing, woke at Emma's on her sofa, body shaking as if fever. She kicked him out screaming, everything in fog as if horrible dream passed, leaving only memory of cold. Lily replied now. Everything good, embracing him. Warmth returned as if never left. Brandon's arms wrapped her tight, tears flowed down cheeks from overflowing joy. Brandon stopped drinking forever, returned to trainings where ball flew exactly into goal. Players rejoiced his strength and spirit. Apartment filled with coffee aroma and fresh pastry instead of fume. Natalie entered Theater Institute acting faculty, turned out rehearsed love scene with Brandon to distract from alcohol, playing role in life play, where words sincere but embraces fake for salvation. Lily reconciled with niece. Laughter returned to home, filling rooms with joy and future plans where children run on parquet. Emma disappeared from city, no one knew where. Her apartment empty, shutters closed, dust on floor accumulates thick layer. No one enters as if curse went with her, into unknown leaving only emptiness and silence. Life settled slowly but surely, like river after flood carrying dirt, but leaving fertile land. Lily with Brandon again sat on balcony, watched Seattle lights, planned child trips, dreamed of Oregon coast where waves whisper peace. Ghosts no longer appeared. Nights became quiet without knocks and rings. Cold left corridor, dust smell dissipated as if never was. Madame Clara tells everyone in forest and acquaintances never open doors at night if no one in peephole, for behind them may be death waiting moment and not forgiving mistakes. Her words echo as warning for those listening. Lily now knows price of cheap apartments and power of rituals. Pin and door frame that saved home. Lock on bridge that closed trouble. She keeps pin in drawer as talisman. Sometimes touches with fingers, feeling metal cold, reminding past. Brandon laughs, says all was stress, but in eyes gratitude for rescue, Natalie calls from institute. Tells about roles and rehearsals where plays love on stage, but in life happy with friends. Rachel in prison, her schemes exposed. Apartments returned to relatives. Truth won, Emma's place stands empty for years. No one buys because rumors of curse spread city like wind. Lily sometimes passes by, looks at closed doors, feels cold but walks on, knowing how to fight Madame Clara in cabin drinks herbal tea, reads book, smiles knowing she helped. Life continues with unforgettable lessons, love that endured, hope shining bright. Never open doors at night without checking, for consequences can change everything forever. If chills ran down your spine, hit like and subscribe. Share your mystical stories in the comments. A new captivating story drops soon. See you in the dark.